Hi, my name is Kevin McDonald, and I'm declaring my independence. Independence from what? Why, negative thoughts and energy, of course. Chief among them, hate, division, and fear. You see, I know that we're all one, and together we can solve any problem, save our planet and each other. Please, join me as we come together as one and choose a better way to be. So now, let's begin with my independence report. Welcome, everybody, to my independence report. Can you turn your speaker down just a little bit?
Yeah, I can turn it down. Yep, just a sec. Here we go.
We were getting the legendary feedback.
Is that a bit better?
I think that's well, let's see. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, but at least now you're not cutting out.
Yes. Yeah, you must be from Canada because you said out.
That's right, eh?
Yeah,
yes, exactly. I'm from Ottawa, our nation's capital, but I was born and raised in Montreal.
Oh, very, very nice. So that you understand and speak French and everything, because you're a bilingual country. We can't speak English.
That's right. Yeah, I speak English and French, perfectly bilingual.
Yes, and in the United States, we can't even speak English well.
Now, that's not true. You guys don't have bad habits like we have in Canada.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. We're full of bad habits down here. Okay, so Lynn Phillips and she is a real estate agent. She worked for years in the travel industry and has migrated that over to the real estate business, and she's done extraordinarily well. As you can see, she's got an effervescent personality and she's got a smile to her, and that really does help when you're going to go talk to people about putting down more money than they can imagine putting down about anything. So, Lynn, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thanks so much, Kevin. It's great to be here.
So tell us about your story. When you started out in the travel industry, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. In 1984, I started in the travel industry. I was 18 years old, so I was pretty young, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life at that point. So I figured, hey, traveling is a good thing. And I went to travel, and I slowly worked myself all the way up the ladder to an executive position for a global travel management company, and which was awesome. Traveled a lot during all those years. And I just thought, I wanted to work more in my community because my work was all outside of it, was anywhere but home. So right. I wanted to go into real estate. It's a travel and real estate line up a lot as far as the skills are concerned. And, it's very customer service orientated. You're building people's dreams. You're on their journey to find a home. You're sending them to space and travel. And it's just that there are two industries that line up really well. And for me, that was a logical career change move.
So now, did it make sense? Because being a real estate agent is commission only. If you don't sell nothing, you don't make. Did that concern you at all?
It was hard in the beginning. I have to admit, the first year was really tough, but I prepared. You have to put away a pretty good amount of money to be able to get going. It's hard to break into it because, people want to buy homes from people they know, for one. And secondly, they want to buy from someone that's got experience. It's pretty much the biggest purchase you're going to make in your life for the average person like us. And so it takes time to be able for the people to start trusting you and to get, once you get the first few clients, then it starts happening, because then it goes referrals and people recommend you and so on. But the first year is tough. So you have to plan financially to be able to get through pretty much a year of no income.
How long
Yeah.
was it before? Now, let's talk about how how it all works, because the first thing is that you have to find a client. You have to also find listings that they can be yours. How hard is it to find somebody who wants to sell their house with you?
Well, there's a lot of marketing involved, but then the marketing only takes you so far. You know, you really need to be out there. You need to be in front of people and whatnot. People, you know, when you started, well, I can speak for myself anyways. When I started out, I had more clients that were buying houses than listing. So that's kind of like how I got started. And I got that, you know, a lot of leads through referrals and marketing programs and actually colleagues as well. So, I mean, that's kind of like how it started, but, you know, eventually you do morph to getting listings, and, you know, getting listings is really where the success starts to come, because when you have a listing, then you get a lot of leads for people that are interested in your house that's listed. So you know, the leads start pouring in at a much higher quantity when you start having listings. But it doesn't happen. Like, I got my first listing, gosh, probably a year and a half, almost 2 years into it. I was only doing buyer clients before that. That's how long it took. It's an amazing career, but anyone who thinks that you're just going to take the college course and get your license and then away you go, you have to be tough and you have to be prepared financially. Yeah.
Now, you just won an award, did you not?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I won the top 10% of the top 10% in my region for I won with Royal LePage, so I was one of the top 10 producers in 2020 for my region. And
Good.
considering I've only been in real estate a few years, that was pretty cool. Pretty cool, actually.
How did you accomplish it?
Well, it was just, you know, I just had a lot of leads, and I kept, you know, a lot of referrals in 2020 as well. So many of the clients and the relationships that I built in 2019 turned into a lot more transactions in 2020 based on referrals. You know, this is a people business, and you really need to concentrate on, you know, being there for your people face to face. You know, and building relationships, and building relationships leads to referrals. So in 2020, at the first part of the year, started out not slow, but not crazy, not like my other realtor colleagues anyways. And then all of a sudden in the spring, it just took off. It was just crazy. It started getting really busy. And this is like, I wouldn't say it's because of COVID, because I mean, I was measured against my peers, and I was in the top 10% of my peers. So we were all measured equally. It was just based on obviously revenue and transactions. So yeah.
It must have been really hard to sell a house during the time of COVID, because you can't
Oh
get
gosh,
people.
that is so true. It's funny because so many industries, it's, you know, actually when you think about it, I was in travel, right? COVID, like the company, the global management company I worked for had to reduce their staff by 80% because of COVID. And is on the other side in real estate where things just boomed, right? So, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, from rags to riches. But it's the COVID period, the people that want to list, okay, because a lot of people do want to list because it's a great time to sell because they're going to get lots of equity. But they have to have a plan, because if they have nowhere to go, they're going to be living potentially from Airbnb to Airbnb until they can find a house. So it's hard to secure a listing because people, you know, have to think about that, right? I mean, you might be selling great at a nice high price and equity, but then you're going to buy at a high price, and you might end up for the same price you sold a house that you have to fix up or renovate or something. So it's challenging with COVID. And personally, I do not take a listing if my clients don't have a plan, because I don't want to. I've literally seen some of my clients live in Airbnbs for months before they can find something. So it's tough.
Well, you know, it's interesting because in the housing market, you think that the equity that you get is like a windfall. The only time it's a windfall is when you significantly downsize, and you're going to take that
Yeah.
equity and save it, and you're going to buy something that's well. But nowadays, there's nothing that's under. I don't know how it is in your market. I live in Seattle. The Seattle market is crazy. How big?
Yeah.
How houses are going for?
Oh, it's the same in our market. Actually, when you in Canada, Ottawa has always been lower than the other major cities like Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. So, in my opinion, I think Ottawa not only is it going through a crazy real estate period like the rest of the country is, and obviously in the U.S. as well, but Ottawa is catching up to the rest of the other big cities in our country. So it's kind of like double fold. So the prices in Ottawa have soared, which obviously is awesome, but I don't see it. A lot of times people are saying, oh, when COVID is over, all these people that have overpaid for houses because, we're in multiple bidding wars, like for every transaction we're doing right now. Some of them, the houses are selling in upwards of $200,000 above asking. And people wonder, they say, oh, what's going to happen after COVID? Like all these people have overpaid for these properties and, potentially could, be in a position to lose a lot of money if they wanted to either sell or if the interest rates went up and whatnot. So it's tricky, but in my opinion, I think that what's going to happen after COVID is I think the market is just going to level out for a while, but I don't think it's going to take a downward turn, and not a steep one, anyways.
Now, what I've learned in traveling around my community, and I used to drive a bus, and so I would go through neighborhoods and that sort of thing. What I'm discovering is there's a lot of people that are in existing houses that can barely afford the existing house, and they don't have the money to be able to take their equity and to move upwards, and they can't repair their own house. And so some of them are you seeing that in your market as well? There's a lot of dilapidated houses that people are living in but just can't keep them up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And not just that, Kevin. People are living in houses with hardly any furniture because they can't afford to fill up their house. It's true. It is. It's true. It's I mean, and also it's kind of sad for like I have two young daughters. Well, young, they're in their early 20s. And you want to get into the market so you can, owning a home is an awesome thing. It's like it's probably the great American dream. Well, it's the great Canadian dream too, owning a home. But it's really hard for our youth of today to get into the market because I can't tell you how many times I've seen this happen, especially since COVID started. And it's actually kind of heartbreaking when you see, because of COVID, you're allowed to have one person visit a house plus the realtor. So young couples will have like one chance to see the house. The showing times have reduced usually now to 30 minutes. Before it was an hour was about the amount of time you're allowed to show a house, but now it's down to 30 minutes. So here we are, 30 minutes. One of the two can come in and see the house, not both. And then if they like the house, they have to put an offer in right then and there. So I mean, that you have to throw your hat in the ring. And if you put any kind of conditions like financing, inspection, things like that, you're for sure not going to get the house because every house pretty much it sells is without conditions, all cash offers, and way above asking because with the multiple offers, they're all selling above asking. So when you look at our youth of today that should be getting into the market, and just like we had, looks like we're about the same age. I mean, when we were in our early 20s, we had a chance to get into the market. And today it's sad that to see our young people struggling to be able to get in. And so for myself, I mean, as a realtor, I work really hard to try and help them, coach them, be able to find the right place. Oftentimes it means they have to move away a little further, right? So meaning like not right in the city, they might have to drive a half an hour, but there's always a solution. But it's really tough. It's sad to see these young kids, blindly buying because they have no other choice.
Help me. I don't understand this because my son, who is 32, he had a house.
Mm-hmm.
Then he lost it for various reasons. girlfriends and that kind of, that don't want to go into that. But he would get
Yeah.
into another house, and he makes good money. He makes about $80,000 a year, but he can't even smell his way into getting, because the houses are like anything that he'd want to buy is like 400,000 and up, and being a single guy by himself, he can't afford that. I was curious, where's all this money coming from that can afford to pay cash for a $400,000 house?
That's a really good question. In my market, right? What's happening in my market is people in Canada are moving more and more east, because the more east you go, the least it's less expensive, right? So, case in point, Toronto market is really high there, right? I mean, you can't even buy a closet for $600,000 pretty much. So the people in Toronto, it's true. It's very true. It's super expensive, right? So people in Toronto can sell their closets for like $750,000 and then move to Ottawa or the outskirts of Ottawa, and for more than half the price live in an actual real big house, right? So I mean, a lot of people out west, and Vancouver's the same thing, Calgary, Edmonton, and then Toronto. The more east you go, the lower the prices. So a lot of people are relocating, and with COVID, everyone's figured out how to work from home, right? And the companies are supporting it. So it's just a logical move. I mean, why wouldn't you want to move to the country? Because I specialize in the country. I'm a realtor that specializes in country properties, and it's been booming because it's more affordable. But then again, those are the type of properties you can afford. And the people that are buying, coming back to your question, are people coming from the West, and they're coming, their pockets full of cash, and they're paying cash, and in their mind, they're getting a really good deal. But if you were to say, let's say your son, as you were just saying as an example, or my daughter for that fact, in their very own market, can't afford to buy anything because we don't have pockets full of cash in our market. So it's a lot of people from outside coming and buying these places.
So let me ask you a question, because this is one of the thoughts that I've had for a very long time. And that is that the way the housing market has always worked, it worked that way when I bought. The first house I bought for $73,000. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And then we wanted to get an upgrade to a 4-bedroom. I bought that for $111,000. My house had appreciated to $95,000. So I was able to put the down away without having to do anything more than that. And so it was based upon having a starter house and then moving up from the starter house to the next level and the next level and the next level until you got the house of your dreams. But what happens when the cycle is cut and you have new people who can't afford to get into it? What used to be a starter home is now a $400,000 property. Where does that disconnect going to be remade up?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because you're right. And then the rule of thumb used to be, after your 5th house, you should be mortgage free in a normal market, in the normal days. So sort of like describing the scenario you just gave me about yourself, right? Now, I mean, even if you get out of the market while you're in that process, let's say you're on house number 3, and then life happens, or your job takes you somewhere else and you sell, and then you have to get back into the market. You're basically going to have to, like, a lot of people are buying houses together. They'll be sharing spaces, roommates, things like that. There are government programs, though, to help people to get back into the market, to give help they fund, in Canada anyways. I'm not sure about the US, but in Canada, the federal government has programs where they'll provide the 5% down payment, and you pay it back over X amount of years. And, at least it helps people get back into the market, but they can't do it on their own. I mean, unless, like I said, you're walking in with the pockets full of cash. But the average Joe, like me, we don't have pockets full of cash. So it's hard to get back in. It's best to not get out of it if at all possible.
So let me
Yeah.
get this straight. Let me get this straight. We have a country that is like within a stone's throw of us, to the north of us, and that if you want to get into a house, they'll give you $20,000 that you can pay. A $400,000 house, they'll give you a $20,000 down payment that you can pay back with time. They also have got health care. Oh, don't get me started on healthcare. That you've got a national healthcare program and stuff, and so, and I know people that have looked into moving into your direction, and they can't because you guys are the government's like, no, you better have a good reason to come here because we're pretty happy with the situation we're in right now. So, congratulations, you guys are doing really good.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, no, but I mean, believe it or not, in Ontario, in the province of Ontario in Canada, 25% of our real estate market is that new immigrants coming to Canada. So from abroad, yeah.
Are they coming from the south or are they coming from abroad?
From abroad.
Oh.
Americans think we eat moves, I think.
Well, what do you do? What do you do? So, well, I'm really glad to see. So, you are what we now would term, you were a successful traveling person to help people travel, and you worked and you were in management, and now you're a successful real estate person. Let's go to real estate 101. If somebody wants to their current position and get into real estate, what's your advice?
Okay, my advice is if you put in the sweat equity, like the hard work, right? Because I transitioned, as a matter of fact, I'm still doing my old job on a smaller level, meaning just 3 days a week. Because with COVID, I became essential in that role. So I kind of got stuck staying in that role. But to transition, first of all, do your homework to make sure you're going to transition to the career that's right for you, that you got the skill set for. Then, I mean, in real estate, what's kind of cool is that you can do you can get licensed, and it's a college degree, but you get licensed. You have to be licensed, and you can do that online. So a lot of time management, and making sure that you slot in the right amount of time you need to do your studies, because the studies are difficult actually. And then once you get licensed, you slowly transition. So it depends on the type of work you're doing before real estate. But if you have a type of job where you can try and line yourself up to sort of like slip out of one job and slip into the other, financially, it does help you kind of like stay on your feet a little bit during that transition period. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a lot of hard work. You work full time at your other job, you're studying when you're not working. When you finally get licensed, you're marketing, you're struggling, to get your feet under you, because it's hard to get into this market, into this role of real estate agent. So it's just like if you persist, and I can't tell you how many times I wanted to quit, but my daughters and my husband said, no, you're not quitting, and I'm glad they said that, because I'm happier than ever now. But it's really hard work is the only way I can really describe it. It's hard work.
So if 100 people decide, I'm going to be a real estate agent because if I can sell $1 million house, I make $40,000 at a pop, and I'll sell 5 of them a year, and then I'll retire. And you got 100 of those people. How many are actually going to be able to do the work, be able to make it pay, and be able to really become a success?
Yeah, that's I'm a very positive person, so I'm always optimistic about people succeeding, including myself. Reality is, though, is that not everybody can do it. I mean, they try, but there's so much dedication, and you have to give up a lot of things to really put that priority, that dream, as your top priority. And a lot of people, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say, and this is very positive, at least a 4. That just, it's too hard. They can't make it. Lots of times they just can't. They can't ride the wave of the income, or actually, no, sorry, the no income wave. So it's yeah.
It makes
tough.
it really, yeah. So Lynn Phillips, if we were to build A consummate real estate person, what would go into the mix of what would we create that person to look like, to act like, to be like in order to become a successful professional?
Okay, that person needs to be, first of all, high energy, customer service skills, a people person. Now, again, my opinion, but I mean, I feel that having integrity and high values, and putting your customers' needs always as top priority is really what the key to the success is, because really the key is the referrals, right? So if your clients are happy with what you do for them, and you need to go above and beyond. I mean, everybody has their different style. That's my style. But people, you can't fool people. They can tell if you're sincere or if you're just being like a used car salesman. You know what I mean? And so if you're sincere, you have good values, you're customer service oriented, and go above and beyond, then the referrals start coming in. And then when it starts, it doesn't take long. That at the beginning, when you said earlier 5 houses a year, right? At the beginning, I thought, oh gosh, I don't need to sell more than 5 houses a year. Well, now I don't want to necessarily sell more than 5 a year because financially I'm okay, right? But the referrals start coming in, the excitement, and it just the career takes off, and you do more than 5 houses a year. It's a industry. It's awesome. I love it.
Well, congratulations and good for you. Another question for you, which would be, you become a real estate agent and you are working with clients and you're working hard with clients. It involves a lot of nights and weekends, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yeah, you can ask my husband. He'll see me write up a deal at midnight. Yeah, yeah, that happens quite often actually. Sunday barbecues. Yep, I'm out on the road, but that's just the way it goes, right? You
Well,
go where the trends that you follow your passion, you follow your clients, and oftentimes late nights, weekends, unexpected, appointments and whatnot. So yeah,
well,
it's true.
because they're off when you're working.
Yeah, but you know what though? True. But I mean, essentially we're our own boss, right? So I mean, if I have, let's say for example, it's my daughter's birthday party, and I'm not going to work that day, I can arrange to not work that day. I have colleagues that can back me up. I can try to arrange my schedules around personal things too, because I mean your family is important as well. You don't go into real estate just to all of a sudden forget that you have a family and friends and not have a life, right? So it's all in time management, really. It's a work-life balance, and it's pretty easy to balance when you're good at being organized.
So let me get this straight. You have to be nice to people. You have to be a hard
Yeah.
worker. You have to be able to work weekends and nights, and you've got to be a self starter, and be self sufficient and orient, and you have to be organized. So are you all of those things? If you are, my goodness, you're pretty special. Because most people go,
Did you
they
write
start.
all that stuff down when I was talking? You wrote, did I really say that much?
You did. You were good.
Pardon me?
I said you did. You were good because I've worked with real estate people. I've bought houses. I've sold houses. I've sold houses that I didn't want to say anyway. So, I know what it's like to work with a good real estate agent. I know what it's like to work with a crappy one, and there are lots and lots of crappy
Mhm.
ones. And there aren't because I get it. It's a hard job, even though when you look at the potential reward, say you sell 10 houses, so you're going to make 400 grand this year. That's like everybody gets stars in their eyes, but that 400 grand you pay, you earned every nickel of that money.
Mhm. Yeah, true. It's like, gosh, how can I say this without sounding like a snob? Because I don't want to come across as a snob, but sometimes people get, they start making really good money and they change. they sort of they want to drive the really expensive cars, and they want to be flashy, and they those are the ones that start their attitudes start changing. You always have to, in my mind, well, anyways, that's my career path, is I want to stay real, and I don't want to change. No matter how much money I make, I want to be me, right? So it's just different types of people that have different types of approaches. But, typically people making a lot of money, sometimes it does go to their head.
Well,
I know that's
no, in your case, that's not going to happen, because you are a people person, and you're service oriented, and you want to help people get the best. And doesn't it give you a thrill when you can turn over the keys to somebody's house to them?
Oh my gosh, that is the best part of all. I have probably one of my best stories that really tells you how it brings it home, right? How wonderful this industry really is. I had a client, a single mom, and with 3 boys that had autism, but her boys are like grown men autism, and one of them has a much higher level of autism than the other 2. But let's put it this way: she's still wiping bums on 20-year-old boys, right? And was living just west of Toronto. Terrible lifestyle she had there, because one of her sons like screams a lot, so the cops were always at her place. And anyways, she was really unhappy, and she moved east. Again, everybody moving east. But I found her as a client, and I was able to find, we worked together to be able to find the perfect place for her in the budget that she has. And now she's so happy, and her boys have flourished so much, and we're friends now. She's going to teach me how to knit, because I just found out I'm going to be a grandma. But thank you. But anyhow, she her sons have flourished. She's flourished, and to me, I feel like I was a part of taking her out of the hell life that she had and turning it into a wonderful life in the country, and she's super happy. So those are the moments that make it all worthwhile. Really, it is. And there's no money, there's no price tag to give you that feeling. That's, anyways. Yeah, there's no money that gives you that type of feeling.
Well, it really is exciting that you're able to do that. You're able to make that transition. Huh? Say that again.
I did make a commission. Me, I didn't make money, but.
Well, but there's a certain point in time to when, if you love what you do, the money is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It won't change you. Go ahead.
Nope. Yeah. It won't change me. I mean, the money is good, but it's not the priority.
No, and the priority for you is to take care of people and to care for people, and so if somebody wants to move or is in Canada, because I do have listeners in Canada as well, if somebody would like to contact you, what do they do it, Lynn?
You can find me online. I have a website, homesbylynn.ca, and you can just Google my name and I'll come up. I'm with Royal LePage. So, but anyone can visit my website, which is www.homesbylynn.ca, which is also my email, info@homesbylynn.ca. And but you can contact me through my website. So either through email, phone, text, Facebook, Instagram, pretty much any social channel that you can do, you can contact me.
Say that one more time, real slow though.
Okay. Did I say that too fast?
Somebody was trying to write it down and they didn't get it done.
So the one thing you weren't able to write down. No, I'm just teasing.
Exactly.
Okay, my website is www.homesbylynn.ca. And on my website, you can communicate with me. You can reach me via email or phone, text, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn as well. So, you can just go to my webpage and that's probably the easiest way to find me. Or you can just go on Google and Google my name, Lynn Phillips, Royal LePage, and you'll see my page come right up.
Very good. And the company you're working for is, what's the name of them again?
Royal LePage Performance Realty.
Aha. And that's right there in Ontario, right? Ottawa.
That's right, in Ottawa. Yeah, we have several locations. Mine is in Ottawa. Yeah.
Very good. And now we're coming to our time together to ending. So I would like you to, if you'd be so kind, is to give the audience this is the moment when you get complete control over anything that you say. What would you like our audience to know about you, about real estate, about or about life, or your life philosophy?
Oh, that's all right. Well, real estate. I really encourage everyone to do everything you can to try and get into the market, because it's really a good investment, and owning your own home is a very fulfilling feeling. But I would really encourage everyone not to do it on your own. I mean, when you hire a real estate agent, we're able, especially when the market is difficult like this, we're able to walk you through every step of the way, because it's pretty tricky these days. So, I mean, I would really, I would urge people that no matter how hard it is with these days, with the prices, how they're high and everything, there's always a solution, and to try and get into that market. It's just going to be good all along. Once you get in, you're okay. It's just to get in.
Now, in my case, what I did is I downsized, and I now am in a 55 plus, because I'm old now. I'm in a 55 plus mobile home community, and for me, it works out just really quite well. So there are lots of options out there. Find the option that's right for you. Find someone. If you can't find Lynn because she's not willing to travel, like Texas, which I wouldn't go to Texas if I. But if you'd like to find somebody, you need to find somebody that's got a smile on their face. Ask them if they're customer service driven. What will they do for you that nobody else will? That's a good question to ask them. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Very good question. I mean, I do things for my clients. I don't know if other agents do this or not. Actually, maybe I just go with my common sense. But I do things. I help them find schools for their kids. I'll help them with. I mean, I'm not a mortgage broker, but I'll help them set up with their financing. If they want to go for that government grant that's available out there, I'll walk them through every step of the way. And I mean, I'll even book a storage pod for them to put their furniture in. I mean, it's just I do for others what I'd like someone to do for me if I was in their shoes. So
I've heard that before somewhere. Wasn't that in this book that a lot of people have that's been around for a couple thousand years? Isn't there
the Bible?
That one? Yeah, that's the one.
You're funny.
So in any event, we've been talking with Lynn Phillips. I have enjoyed the conversation immensely. Congratulations on your success. I wish you tons more people like you, real honest to goodness people who care. And let's see, before I let you go, because it just stunned me. It's like, you're a people person. I consider myself a people person. People who say, well, you could do this, you're a people person. I think everybody can be a people person, can't they?
Of course, absolutely. You just follow your heart and just do what, you just be yourself. And I mean, human beings are meant to be with human beings, right? So if you just be yourself, follow the journey, anybody can be a people person. Just be positive and, put yourself in someone else's shoes. That's the best way I find. The best way to know how to do things or react is by putting yourself in someone's shoes. If you put yourself in their shoes and what you just did, kind of like it's not something you'd like to experience, then, hey, don't do that.
Lynn, I have to tell you that oftentimes what will happen is I will do an interview with somebody, and because I want to get the right information out, and in this case, the right information came out with what you just said. And if somebody needs to listen to that, you need to roll this tape back and re-listen to that again because that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you.
And that is going to help someone. So you can be a people person. You can take care of each other. And it starts with smiling at the person at the checkout stand. Even though you're wearing a mask, you can smile with your eyes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hugs are free. We're not allowed to hug during COVID, but soon enough, we'll be able to hug again.
Yep. Right now, elbow bumps are free. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Lynn, it's been a great pleasure talking to you. I look forward to talking to you again. It's been fun. So thank you so much. So hold on just a second. I've got to do this and then I'll be right back. Hey, and thanks for listening to this episode all the way to the end. Hey, pretty cool. Hey, don't forget to follow us so you can receive regular updates and new posts. And remember, take care of each other because each other's all we got. See you next time on My Independence Report.